We've all seen the chases on TV. You probably thought you could do it better. Maybe you fantasized about pulling off the perfect heist. I know I have. I think I could do it. I'll even show you how. These are 5 easy steps for running from cops. I'm definitely gonna be on a list after this comes out. Hello,
I
FBI.
heard you like to wash your hands so your long sleeves get wet too.
Now in this hypothetical situation, we're gonna imagine that you're planning a bank job. Bank robberies are the coolest crime because nobody gets hurt and the money is insured. What could possibly go wrong? Step 1, choosing the right car. Everyone has their own idea of the perfect heistmobile, but each has their own advantages and drawbacks. One thing that might affect your decision is what your adversaries are driving. Cop cars used to be big sedans like the Crown Victoria, but that is quickly changing. Most departments are switching to the Ford Explorer Police Interceptor. It's all-wheel drive, has upgraded brakes and suspension, and new models are pushing 400 horsepower. That's 0 to 60 around 5.5 seconds. Let's see what some donut employees pick.
That's easy. Well, I'd have my friend drive a white Ford Bronco, and then we'd just hit the highway. Cops never pull those over.
Cheap track car, probably the best choice. Fiat 500 Turbo, not the Abarth because the exhaust is too loud. And ever heard of a little thing called the Italian Job?
Yeah. Old school version
Fiat?
Gen 2 Mazda Speed 3.
Trophy truck, 100%.
A white BMW.
Okay, I can agree with that.
And
Yeah, I could.
won't stick out.
Supercars are a logical choice. They're fast as heck and maneuverable, and whomst among us doesn't want to outrun a helicopter? But there are a ton of drawbacks. First, supercars have no ground clearance. There's no room for a big bag of cash, and visibility in most of them is trash. And lastly, there's no way you'll blend in. It'll be really easy for witnesses to say that your car looks like a Ferrari. A hatchback is another good choice. Practical, low profile, and agile. Me personally, the thought of fleeing the cops in a Volkswagen GTI sounds pretty good. I think we can all agree on that, right?
What about GTR?
God. All right.
Without
Turns
spoiler.
out someone already thought of this. Car and Driver magazine tested how fast your car has to be to outrun the cops. They used a GTI, which held off the cops around turns, but it wasn't fast enough to make any sort of gainful lead. So, if you're thinking about going the hatchback route, make sure you're in an area with tight quarters and short straights.
Why is Chad bat-chesing everything
you can
now?
literally go over anything, but it'll take a minute for your partner to put on the racing harness, unless they're fine with being thrown around the cockpit. What you need is something that splits the difference between supercar and a hatchback, something with good performance, practicality, and the ability to stay undercover. Other people will tell you to get something like a 5 Series BMW or maybe the Chevy SS, which are both great options,
Audi.
and I think you'd be okay. But I say go further. You want to blend in on the streets? I say blend in with the cops. Get a 5th gen Ford Explorer in either black, white, or silver, and you'll look like an unmarked police car. Better yet, just buy a police car. You can get these things for under 15 grand, and Bart actually bought this thing. Not only will you level the playing field, but
Wait, really?
it's pretty comfy too. It's also got a column shifter. Let me know what car you would choose in the comments. I want to see some freaking creativity, guys. Step number 2, plan, plan, plan. When you watch a police chase live, it becomes clear that most of these people running don't have a plan. They just drive around a main avenue, take a wrong turn somewhere, usually hit some poor guy in an intersection, then ditch their car outside a laundromat, hop into someone's backyard, and then get tackled by a big dude named Officer Greg. But we ain't doing that. Nah, before you rob that bank, you need to drive all around it at all different times of day so you know when it's better to take side streets and which roads to avoid entirely. Put these on. The Department of Justice recognizes
xQc
3 different types of pursuit policies. A discretionary policy leaves it up to the officer. A restrictive one requires an officer to ask permission from their supervisor to initiate, and discouraging departments only see pursuits as a last resort. That means, depending on where you live, the police might not chase you at all. Or you might live in a state like California where officers are not required by law to follow department policy and are in fact covered by an immunity shield should something go wrong during a chase. Something like this. So be sure to know your local department's policy ahead of time. To make sure you weren't stopped by a
Thank
pit
you to
maneuver,
you and
spike
Chet
strip,
for
or
helping
getting
me get
boxed
through
in,
some
I
of the
recommend that you
hard
spend
times
as
at
little
xQc.
time on the road as possible. The less time you give the police to plan and coordinate, the better. Step 3, driving correctly. Let's look at some footy. Here's this dude in a yellow Corvette. Pretty good car. For the most part, his plan is to speed away from officers, but for some reason, he starts heading into oncoming traffic, which sometimes works, but you're putting innocent people and yourself in way too much unnecessary danger.
What is he
I don't
doing?
recommend it. This chase ends when he inexplicably hesitates, mashes the gas, and spins out, which leaves him open to a nice smashing. Speaking of smashing, go ahead and smash that like button. Huh?
What?
This
Why?
guy's mistake was thinking that you can power out of a chase.
No,
Even the
I'm
news
not gonna do that this
anchors
one time, but-
know that's a bad idea.
No. Just put the SUV in front of him, dude.
Before you wreck yourself.
Oh my god, this is embarrassing.
Then there's this guy who stole a freaking tank back in 1995. You might think this is the ultimate getaway vehicle, and it kind of is, but not really. There's no way he could have blended into traffic with a freaking tank. A bigger problem.
Oh, what is that? Is that some sort of material or whatever? That wasn't somebody. That was not somebody. Trust me. Nah, it's some material.
In Phoenix, which seems pretty docile, with the bad guy taking it easy.
Oh, it's
on
a
some
motorcycle,
main
I didn't know that.
roadways.
It's a
Things are going
carpet.
smoothly until he hits this intersection.
Oh, it's a
Instead of
bumper.
taking the left with a
United
flow of
players,
traffic, he changes his
Bruno,
mind
Nani,
and
and
continues
Bebe.
going straight.
Am
This
I
hesitation
forgetting
gives the
anyone?
2 cars behind him
Oh, yeah?
enough time
Diogo
to get
Bloss.
closer, which is good because they're cops. They were in plain sight, just waiting for the perfect time to strike. Unmarked cars are definitely something you're gonna have to look out for. One thing you can't look out for, though, is helicopters. But don't worry, I have a plan.
Helicopters
for
are
those,
broken.
which I'll tell you in a little bit. Ready?
Actually, no, there was a car that we saw,
4.
and they ditched
Here we
everyone
go.
by just
Check.
speeding.
If you want to get away from the police, you gotta throw a wrench in the gears. Police have protocol for pretty much everything. Everything they're expecting, that is. Last year in LA,
Yeah,
this
that's-
chase
we really
ended
watched
when
it.
the driver went into an active metro line tunnel where the police did not follow because it was just too dangerous. The driver and his girl hid in an evacuation room where he was apprehended, but she got away. The lady got away because the LAPD didn't have protocol for someone driving into metro tunnels. But I'll bet you
Tunnels?
anything that they do now. Do the unexpected. Something like choosing a bank near an airport, maybe. Not to get away on a plane, but to keep those pesky police helicopters at bay. Air traffic controllers have complete authority over who is in their airspace. If the police want to fly near an airport, they need to ask for permission. Plus, you need to be at the airport anyway, because you'd have a second car waiting for you in the parking garage. So a little review before we get to the final step. Step 1, choose the right car, know what you're up against. Step 2, plan. Step 3, drive good. And step 4, do the unexpected. Now, if you follow those 4 steps correctly and you make a clean break, step number 5 is learning how to order a margarita in Espanol, compadre.
Dos margaritas, por favor.
No, you gotta roll your R's. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to encourage you to do stuff. Don't do it. Don't rob a bank. 60% of bank robberies get solved in the first 24 hours, so don't do it. You'll get caught. Follow me on Instagram at Nolan J. Sykes. Follow Donut at Donut Media. I saw a video on Donut Media telling me how to rob a bank, so I did it.
Okay, next.